Hi, boys and girls. Are you ready for a story? Well, a little more Pete the cat. That's fun, isn't it? And look where he is. He's right in bed, and that's perfect because it says Pete the cat and the bedtime blues. People often say that they have the blues if they're feeling sad, and lots of children don't really like to go to bed at night. And I guess Pete doesn't either. All right? It says here that there's a groovy door hanger inside. That's something that they added at the back, and I'll show it to you. Also inside our book is an author's note with the picture of the author and illustrators, Kimberly and James Dean. Pretty cool. All right, let's see. Oh, look at that little picture of Pete and his jammies. That's a nice detail. And look here. Lots of pictures of Pete doing lots of different things. I love the illustrations. And here's the dedication to all the kids who love Pete the cat. Stay groovy. Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues by Kimberly and James Dean. Pete and the gang had a great day. They'd been at the beach, surf and sun, and tons of fun. But when the sun went down, they didn't want the fun to end. Pete had an idea. Usually, that's what a light bulb means. Like, they have an idea. Hey, how about a sleepover? More time for tons of fun. Groovy. Pete's Place, let's go. The party was far out, but they knew they couldn't stay up all night. The gang decided it was time to say goodnight. On went the pajamas and out went the lights. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete was just about to catch some Z's when he heard clap, clap, clap. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Grumpy Toad. I don't want to go to bed. I want to clap instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Time to sleep. Pete tried again to catch some Z's when rat-a-tat-tat. Who did that? Asked Pete. It was me, said Gus the platypus. I don't want to go to bed. I want to jam instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Time to sleep. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete closed his eyes to catch some Z's when he heard munch, munch, munch. Pete had a hunch. It was Alligator. He was always up for eating. What could Pete do? All the clapping, rat-a-tat-tatting, and munching was giving him the bedtime blues. Pete had a groovy idea. He got out his favorite bedtime story and started to read, first to himself and then to the gang. Look what he's reading. Pete the Cat and the 10 Little Monsters. He noticed it was finally quiet. No more clapping, no more rat-a-tat-tatting, and no more munching. They all settled down. No one made a sound. Pete yawned and turned off the light. Good night. Sleep tight. Time to catch some Z's. Tomorrow is another day for surfing, fun, and tons of fun. And there's Pete. And remember, I told you at the end, I don't know if you can see, it's like a little punch out, and it says, shh, this cool cat is trying to sleep. And then on the back, if you flip it over, it will say, come on in and hang out. If this was your book, you could punch that out and hang it on your door. If you want to, you could make your own door hanger. You could use some of the construction paper I put in your learning kits. We haven't used it all yet, but that's up to you. I hope you enjoyed that book, boys and girls, because I really like reading it to you.